Hi, I'm Amy Willhelm, and welcome to Campus Highlights. Today I'm here with Mayor Jeremy Stutsman, and we are going to be talking more about this program, the Good of Goshen. Now, last month we introduced that whole segment with Gina and Liz, talking about what the Good of Goshen was. So, City of Goshen is one of those partners. Kind of makes sense, doesn't it? So we thought we would come and talk to you and just see why it is so important for the city to be on board with this. I mean, I think it makes sense. I mean, it should be a no-brainer. But so there are 7 partners currently, and I'm just going to recap those just so that people remember who those are. City of Goshen, Goshen Chamber of Commerce, Goshen College, Goshen Community Schools, Greencroft Goshen, Elkhart County Convention and Visitors Bureau, and Goshen Health Systems. And those are all people that have gotten on board with the Good of Goshen and believe in what it's about. And so now we were just talking right before we hit play about how many years this has been going on.
Correct. So this is the 4th year the Good of Goshen program has been happening.
Okay.
And I think it's been just very valuable for our area to help share our story. I think that's one thing that's so important about this is people coming together to share what's going on in this area.
Okay.
And one thing that's just absolutely amazed me about Goshen, and you see this through the Good of Goshen, I've seen this more and more through my job as I meet people, but the number of just absolutely great things that are happening right here in our community. Every time I think I know everything that's happening, I find out 2 or 3 more great stories about something a business or a resident or somebody's doing.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So now, you said this is the 4th year. Has it been the same group of 7 community members all along, or has it changed a little bit? Do you just keep adding? How does that all work?
So it's changed a little bit. This is the first year we're 7 members. It started off with 4, Goshen Chamber of Commerce, Goshen Schools, Goshen College, and Goshen City. And due to just the nature of all of our budgets and budgets starting to decrease, we were looking for new partners this year to keep the project going. And that's where Greencroft coming in and Goshen Hospital and Community Visitors Bureau has been fantastic to keep us going.
Sure.
And the one thing that's been great about bringing in more partners is we've got a different view. We're bringing in people that we may not have thought of already to kind of sell and share their stories too.
Well, and Goshen Health and Greencroft both being very large employers too.
Correct.
In the Goshen community. I would say they're probably 2 of the largest employers, and so that branches out even further because many of those employees, some do live in Goshen, but some don't. So
Absolutely.
it branches out.
Yeah.
So let me just do a little history as far as whose brainchild was this? How did this all get started with the Good of Goshen?
I don't know who
That
actually
was
came up
before
with
your
it,
time,
but Dave Doherty was president of the Chamber of Commerce,
Okay.
and then Mayor Alan Kaufman, who was mayor almost 20 years in Goshen. Goshen College was involved, and Goshen Schools. So I'm not sure whose actual brainchild this was, but I know those groups came together.
Sure.
And then
maybe there wasn't one person that
Correct.
had this brainchild. Maybe it was just a brainstorm type of thing.
And I think there was an interest in trying to tell our story, and then when those 4 got together with IDART, that's where this whole thing started to take form and really started to move forward.
Okay. Now, we focused last month about talking that there is a wonderful website called the Good of Goshen. And all you have to do is type in Good of Goshen and it comes up. And there are stories on there, different people's stories about why they live here and what they're doing to make this a vibrant city. There's restaurant guides, and I hope that's going to be ever growing, that restaurant guide.
I
right?
do too.
And lodging guide, event calendar, destination information, like places to go in the city and things to see and do. So there's also business guides, school enrollment, travel directions, and another cool thing is you can submit your own story. So say you feel you've got a really good story about the Good of Goshen. Maybe you've lived here a long time, or maybe you were a an employer here and no one's actually gotten to you to share your story, well, you can do it yourself. You can go to the portal and share your story. Now, I had to chuckle when I was reading over it, though. It does give some guidelines. The first one, which is be nice. It is not a place to air dirty laundry. It's a place to be nice. And, you know, just because you share your story doesn't necessarily mean it would be published on there. I think they are reviewed and they choose the best of the best, I think.
I believe that's correct, yeah.
So, but I did have to chuckle at that be nice was one of the things. And then it told you to watch your grammar and all of that. So I won't be submitting my story.
Well, the nice thing about when people start submitting their own stories too is it can really help us connect people that are doing similar things, and maybe together they can do a little bit more. So it's great to know what's going on in the community, and that's something we spend a lot of time trying to find out, is really asking and talking to people to find out what's going on here.
And I know this is what part of this whole year series that I'm hoping to get going is that residents that maybe have moved, Greencroft residents that maybe moved back to this area, or maybe they were here their whole lives, and what they did in their lives, but they are still doing now to give back to the community. I know there are so many residents that do volunteer in the community, whether it's at the depot or at the Center for Hope and Healing, or 10,000 Villages, or any of these different areas around here that there's volunteer opportunities. There's a lot of residents that are taking part in that. So maybe you can answer this, because you were a business person in the Goshen area before you became the mayor. Can you remember when the tide started turning? I mean, I've lived in this area for about 27 years now, and I mean, Goshen was a nice town, but it wasn't as vibrant as it is now. Do you remember when that tide kind of started turning and what?
Yeah, so I graduated from Goshen High School in 1996, and at the time I was going to Butler University, and swore I was never coming back to Goshen. As my then high school girlfriend, but now wife, we started getting more serious about our lives and about family, and started looking at the town differently, and we realized there's a lot here already. But I would say probably in the last 15 to 16 years, there's been a real kind of resurgence of people renovating buildings, businesses growing, new businesses coming in, and people just getting excited again about our community. And so I would say it's been within that last couple decades here.
Okay.
But it wasn't just one moment, it's been continuous since it started.
Yes.
And that's the important piece, is really watching what we're doing and keeping up with it, and trying to find those new pieces that we can continue to add in all the time.
And I think the city itself gives a lot of support to those entrepreneurs that have really taken a chance. And that's the thing I guess I started noticing, is that okay, my phone's ringing in the background.
I think it might be my phone in my pocket
or
too.
It might be mine.
It's not mine.
Yeah, just hit whatever you need to hit. I don't know. Sorry about that. I noticed, years ago there would be like a restaurant that popped up, and he was like, I've never heard of this place before, but people supported it, or an art studio, or some type of massage therapist or whatever. We've had a lot of entrepreneurs here in this city that, you think, oh, are they going to be able to make it? But they have.
Yeah.
And, people support that. And that's, I think, what has been exciting to see that grow. So,
something interesting on that. We have got box stores on both sides of our town. We have one of the town our size to have 2 Walmarts. It's kind of a crazy thing to think about. But this community really supports local, and so I think that's why all these downtown businesses thrive the way they do, and the other locally owned businesses in Goshen, because people want to support those local businesses.
Right.
And it's really nice to see.
Now, you mentioned that there are some new partners this year with Good of Goshen, Greencroft, and Goshen Help. Do you foresee adding new partners each year, or do you want to keep it manageable? Or, mean, what's kind of the plan?
Yeah, I think as we look at new partners, as we look at how this is going to move into the future, it'll be important that that everybody that comes on board realizes that we're telling Goshen's story. We're not telling one group story. So a lot of times that fits in. Like Greencroft is doing some great things in our community, so that fits in with this program. So we'll probably be watch. Yeah, which partners come in and what their intent is. But anybody that's intent is to sell the story of Goshen and really let others know who we are, then we're going to have a great fit.
So now tell me, what's the difference between the Good of Goshen program and the Chamber of Commerce? Because some people may be going, we already have a Chamber of Commerce,
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
What's the difference?
There's always, it depends on what category you're talking about. Are you talking about helping homeless people? Are you talking about sharing the story of Goshen? We have so many nonprofits and people in this town that they're all doing their piece to work on the same thing. We have several economic development corporation type businesses in our area, and they all do their piece. So the Goshen Chamber of Commerce has been trying to tell the story of Goshen for a very long time, and this is just another thing that's added to what they're already doing. So I think it fits well.
Yeah, and probably the chamber is more interested in bringing new businesses in and supporting that type of thing, whereas the Good of Goshen is truly about telling the story of Goshen.
Absolutely.
And then letting people make up their mind, and then that helps the chamber in bringing new businesses in too. So.
And then the city as being a partner, we're really interested in not only telling the stories of the businesses, but also the people that are here, and the neighborhoods and the residents. And
right.
So it's a good mix.
Okay. So if you know a story that you think would be good for the website or for me to interview, I'd welcome your feedback. I'd welcome to hear from you. And most of you on campus know how to get a hold of me. And so I encourage you to submit your story if you feel like you've got a good story. Or if you need help with that, let me know and we'll see if we can't help you with it too. So, the other thing about this website is that it is a nice feature for folks that are moving to this area, but also for residents whose family live out of town, and they can say, hey, look at where I moved to. I moved to this town that is vibrant. So they can say, hey, check out this website and see what's going on in the city. So.
And this Good of Goshen program has been done really well. It was done for our community, for our people. And when you're excited, when everybody's excited about their own community, that's when the word spreads. So that's one thing that our community has worked hard on in many aspects, is to develop the community for the residents. And then once everybody's excited, they start spreading the word. And Good of Goshen is really helping us to reach markets we've never gotten to before.
That's great. That is good. Well, that's about all I have. Do you have anything else to add to this, or?
I think that's pretty good. Yeah,
okay.
I encourage everybody to share their stories, let us know what's going on, and just keep adding to the list of great things that are happening in our community.
Okay, sounds good. Right. Hey, thanks for spending some time with me this morning.
Absolutely.
Thanks for watching Campus Highlights, and we'll see you again soon.